This episode of Gamerheads is brought to you by Magic Mind, the healthy energy drink that will help you take your creativity to a new level.
Hi, I'm Celia Schilling from Yacht Club Games.
Hey, this is James from Megacat Studios.
Hey, this is Matt, aka Stormageddon, from Reignite, Screen Snark, and the Fun and Games podcast.
This is Stephanie from the Boss Rush podcast and the Boss Rush Network.
Hey, this is Mark and Keon from Bonte Avond.
Hey, this is Sebastian with the ProNerdReport.com and the Single Player Experience podcast.
Hi, this is Chris.
Mike.
And Garrett from Daylight Basement Studio.
Hey, this is Baron J67 from Level 1 Gaming.
Hey, this is Todd Mitchell from Code Right Play.
Salutations, this is Mike Carroll from Stroll Art.
Hey, this is Jeff Moonen from Fun and Games Podcast.
Hey, this is Patrick from the Backlog Odyssey.
Hey, this is Rune from Runic Codes.
Hi, this is Andrew from Spalato Bros.
Hi everyone, Jill Grote here from the Indie Informer.
Hey, this is Brimstone, and you're listening to Roger Reichart on the Gamerheads Podcast.
And welcome to another episode of the Gamerheads Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me are my good friends and co-hosts. I'm not going to play music anymore, guys. It just doesn't work very well. So I have Phil.
Hi.
The CEO and president. Hi. Wow, you're really loud.
I'm confused by not having music, so now I'm just freaking out a little bit because I got used to getting into a groove first.
Hi, Phil. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And, of course, we have a good friend and co-host. We have Mike.
Yeah, I don't know what to say either. I usually have, like, a stupid fact or something to throw in at the end of my music. And without the music, I don't have a fact. I mean, I have a fact, but I can't tell you what it is because I don't have the music.
I'm sorry. I know the music was cool, but Mark Keating said that it just wasn't.
Is Mark doing budget cuts without bouncing shit off me?
Yeah, he kind of cut some budgets back.
There's been a lot of layoffs lately. I mean, I guess Gamerheads is no exception.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, that's sad news.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to the show. Welcome to our patrons as well. Matt, Jill, and Sarah, thank you so much for being patrons. And you can be patrons of Gamerheads as well by joining the link. They'll put in the show notes here. But those that are watching live, it's patreon.com/Gamerheads. And for as little as $3 a month, you can join our Gamerheads Nation. So welcome, everybody. We have quite a bit we'll be talking about today. I do want to start off the show, though, to talk about the state of play that happened yesterday. Well, recorded yesterday. PlayStation State of Play. I know, Phil, you said you didn't watch it. Do you know any of the news that came out of that at all, or no?
Yeah, free Silent Hills game.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I know.
Yeah, that's what you know. Okay. Mike, did you watch it?
I didn't watch it because I was working, but I caught the tail end of it. But I also looked up the announcements.
Yeah. I guess that's my thought. I mean, should we just give a quick grade here, and then was there anything that we highlight? I mean, I agree. It's kind of like
You know what though? Here's the thing: is that we could be biased, and we should call out that none of us own a PlayStation 5. Which, nothing wrong with that. But I'd say, it wasn't terrible. They announced a Sonic Origins?
Yeah,
No, Sonic Generations remake.
Yeah.
Which is coming to all systems. They showed a new trailer for Silent Hill 2, and they also gave a free Silent Hill demo, which I heard is just bad.
Oh, really?
That's what I've heard. I heard things.
Wow.
And then the biggest announcement they had was this new Ken Levine game?
Yeah.
So it's very BioShocky.
Yeah.
Or Ghost Story is the studio.
Yeah,
no, it's like starts with a J. It's
Judas?
Like
is that what it's called?
Yeah, might be. Yeah, I think it's Judas. Yeah.
But isn't Ghost Story the publisher, the Ken Levine publisher?
It's a studio. Yeah.
So, but that's coming to both systems as well. So.
Oh yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And then they showed off Death Stranding. I don't care about Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Death Stranding 2, they showed off. I mean, it looks really nice and the production value looks nice, but it is what it is. And then they announced an announcement. So they announced that they're doing another Final Fantasy showcase for Final Fantasy Rebirth or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they might. They announced some PlayStation VR games as well.
Yeah. The remake of, or remaster, I guess, not remake, or remaster of that game that you guys really like. That's that horror game.
Ski Sniper?
Yeah, no, Until Dawn.
That's a second Until Dawn reference today in my life.
Yeah. So that's going to be on PS5 and PC launching later this year. The one game that I thought looked kind of good was Rise of the Ronin. That looked kind of cool. That gave.
I didn't see that though.
You didn't see that? Okay. That gave vibes of Tenchu a little bit of Tenchu. So I thought that looked kind of neat. Yeah, Metro VR, that was one of the VR games they mentioned. Dave the Diver. Oh yeah. Did you guys ever play Helldivers? No, just regular.
No, I never played Helldivers.
You guys never played Helldivers? The first Helldivers was really good. It was on PlayStation 3 and 4, I think. And I really liked it. And actually, you know who got me into that game was Jake, that used to be on this podcast, one of the first original hosts. And we would play that game quite a bit. And I don't know, the second one just doesn't appeal to me. Oh, in Foam Stars, there was like more.
Oh, Splatoon?
Yeah, exactly. I played that actually.
Is that what
Foam
Stars is?
Yeah,
Foam Stars is it's.
Man,
one could argue. One could argue that it's heavily influenced by Splatoon.
Very much.
One could argue.
Yeah, one could argue. I will say it's on PlayStation Plus. I don't know what tier. I don't know what level of PlayStation Plus, but if you have a PlayStation Plus membership, you can play that. I played that at PAX. I wasn't that impressed. I was just kind of like, eh. Yeah, it felt very much like Splatoon. I think they'll have to do a lot to distinguish themselves separate from Splatoon, but it was fine. It wasn't just anything like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Like they had a Death Stranding 2. The Death Stranding 2, the one thing that I was watching that trailer and I was like, what are like the characters? There's this woman who had like gloves on her face, but they like moved, but they were like attached to her neck. And then there's like a little puppet that like she was holding. I was like, what is this? I don't know what is this?
It's very Kojima. It's very
it's
Kojima.
Weird. I know.
Sounds like Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
What is
It'd be awesome if it was. Like, I would buy a PS5 if for some reason they put Zoidberg into that game. I'd be like, I need to buy this game just so I can figure out how Zoidberg fits into this.
Okay, who's Zoidberg?
Zoidberg from Futurama.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You know, I never watched. I'm sorry to tell you this. I didn't really watch that show. I know. Everybody told me I have to go watch it. I need to go watch it. I watched a lot of Simpsons. I just never watched Futurama. Yeah, there was nothing in that state of play that made me think, oh my gosh, I have to go buy a PlayStation 5.
Which is fine by me. I don't need to spend any more money.
Yeah, I agreed.
Nope.
I would say I give it like a, I don't know, a C+, B-.
Yeah, I'd be giving the B- area. Like, well, there was some good stuff, but usually,
Judas was cool.
And also you could also think, like, maybe the problem is us. You know, maybe we just are expecting too much out of these things.
That's true too. I think us generally, just us,
or we're
just
not the target audience since none of us are PlayStation 5 owners.
That's true.
Yeah.
Too. Well, no,
but here's the thing, though. No, I don't.
Wait, in your household, doesn't your son have?
Oh, well, yeah. He doesn't let me play that. Even though it's mine, I technically bought it. I didn't technically bought it. I did buy it, but yeah, no, he won't let me play that. You're right. I'm gonna go upstairs and take that thing right now.
Just watch Mike spike his.
Give me that, nerd.
Take off running.
Yeah. Trip down the stairs.
Guys, I got a PlayStation 5.
You know, I story time with Mike. I really wish we had done that. We had considered doing that. We when the Wii, this is a long time ago when the Wii first came out, we were considering, so we went to Toys R Us, they did a midnight release.
Yeah.
So we got the Wii, but we were considering getting a whole bunch of broken computer parts and taking the Wii out of the box and putting the broken computer parts in the box, and then driving past the Best Buy, who was doing their launch at 6 a.m. and people were already, waiting outside, and just like drive really fast in the parking lot, holding up the box saying, losers, we got it first, and then drop the box. And then all these broken computer pieces would come flying out. Just to give them a good laugh.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I thought that would be funny.
This is why I realize why like we get along so well. I'm gonna tell you a quick story because it just reminds me of that. I worked in a factory, in a furniture factory, and I worked with this guy, and I always told him like the pranks that I wanted to do, and he would try them. And one of them was to take a tin can, like a coffee can, and you could
smash someone over the face with it.
Well, smash it into your head, but the thing was, like, what I wanted to do was, so the audience couldn't see it, put an egg in there, like tape an egg or glue an egg to the end of it, and then poke a little hole and put some red dye into it, and then say, "Look, I can crush this tin can with my head and smash it, right?" And then it looks like guts and everything just smashed out of your head, right? And there's no way I was going to do that, but this guy I worked with did, and he's like, it didn't have the same effect that you would think it would have.
Did I ever? I told you the story of what, in my opinion, was probably my greatest prank that I ever pulled.
Oh, no!
Can we talk about? Should we just just get into video? Should we get into video games?
No, just tell it. Tell the prank. We're down this road. Might as well go down this road.
So when I was a manager at my job, there was one of my workers. She and her sister worked at the same company, and her sister was not on my team, but she was on another team. Her sister was pregnant, and they were having the gender reveal party. And she, not the pregnant one, the other one that on my team, she goes, "Hey Mike, I'm in charge of the gender reveal thing, and I've got 2 baseballs here. This one, this one is pink, this one is blue. So they both look the exact same, but when you hit it with a base, with a bat, it explodes into that dust." So she's like, "And here's the envelope with the results of the baby's gender." And she's like, "I want to be surprised too."
Okay.
So she's like, "Can you see what it is and give me the correct ball and keep the other one?" I say, "No problem." So I open it up. The results say it's a boy. So I give her the blue one, and she they go home. She goes home. They have the gender reveal party. Everything's fantastic. What she didn't know was that on that same Friday, while she was off, like in a meeting or something, I went and I took the gender reveal certificate with the ultrasound on it, put it on the copier, made a copy of it, whited out boy, and wrote in girl, made a copy of that, folded it up, put it back in the envelope, put it with the other ball, put it on her desk. So, and I kept the originals in my desk. And then I took off the next Monday. So I'm sitting there, 9 o'clock rolls around Monday morning. I'm watching TV. I got my coffee. I'm with the wife. I'm like, "Oh, so what's?" And all of a sudden my phone rings, and I see her name on it, Danielle. I'm like, "It's Danielle." I'm like, "Oh, it's Danielle." I'm like, "Oh, all right." Voicemail. Send her to voicemail. Put it down. Give it another minute. Immediately calls me back. So I'm like, all right, I pick it up. And she's like, Mike, I just opened up the envelope that you gave me. It says girl, you gave me the wrong ball. And she was freaking, obviously freaking out.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? And I just start cracking up. Luckily, but here's the thing. For a prank like that, you have to be very careful because you are crossing the line between fun and just being mean.
Yeah.
So I made sure of 2 things first. Number 1, I made sure that she and I had a good working relationship. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Number 2, I made sure that the sister was in on it and the sister was cool with it.
Okay.
So that I could shift blame to the sister.
Yeah.
Luckily, when she called me, the sister was standing next to her and she looks up and sees the sister laughing hysterically. And I'm like, I'm just joking. It was all a joke. You're totally fine. There's no problem.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not as fun as, smashing a tin can against your face, but
no. Yeah. Nicely done, sir. That's good. Where do we go from there? Yeah, it's a video game podcast.
It's a video game stuff.
I still don't even know if we're recording or not because there was no music, so I don't.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I guess since we talked about the state of play, let's move on to games that we're looking forward to in February. And I sent you guys the list. Phil, I'll start with you. Are you okay with that if I start with you? Are there any games on that list? I don't know, because usually you're like, don't start with me, go to Mike first.
Do you have a choice, Phil?
You don't have a choice. Any of those games on that list that you're like, ooh, I can't wait to play?
There's a handful of them that I'm super intrigued by, one of which I will be buying probably tonight or tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys know what that is, even though it's not getting wonderful reviews, but I'm a sucker, so I'll be picking up Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Outside of that, I'm very intrigued by Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remix, remaster, remake, whatever. I've played through all three of them before, but it'd be a fun fun trip down memory lane. I think I said strip because I had Foam Stars on my list because I thought it might be about foam parties in Mexico. Turns out it's just a Splatoon ripoff.
It's a Splatoon ripoff, yeah.
Which is garbage. Also, if I remember correctly, the trailer for Open Roads, that looked super good as well, or at least something that would intrigue me.
Oh, yeah.
A nice little story playthrough of a road trip. And then along those lines, too, if I remember correctly, Pacific Drive was kind of a horror game based inside of a car that I thought looked pretty rad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I plan on at least venturing out and checking out.
Nice. Yeah, I actually forgot about those games. What about you, Mike?
So I'm interested. So I'm going to do something a little bit different in terms of this. I am interested in Suicide Squad as well, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to go on YouTube and watch all the cutscenes. Because I'm fascinated by the story.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by the story, but I have no real interest in playing the game.
Yeah. So
I'm going to be lazy.
I've seen a couple trailers. Can I just ask a quick question about that? So is it that the rest of the Justice League are like taken over by Brainiac or some other alien force of some sort? I'm assuming Brainiac. It looks like Brainiac. And then except for Wonder Woman? Because she seems to use.
I haven't watched much.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen. All I know is that the Justice League are somehow evil.
Yeah.
By no fault of their own, and then
probably Starro.
There's a contingency.
Oh, you're probably right. It's probably a Starro. I didn't even think. I forgot about Starro. And then this is Kevin.
Conroy.
Yes. First. Yeah, his last.
It's not.
It's not.
It was said to be his last, but then now there's people saying that there's something else.
Oh, good.
So I don't know. Might be.
He's dead, isn't he? Shit, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he passed away.
No, there could still be DLC. He could have recorded that.
Yeah, he could have recorded that ahead of time.
Carrie Fisher was in Star Wars 6 for a year and a half after she died, so why not?
I don't want to talk about Star Wars right now. It's that movie was so torturous. I hated that movie so much. I hated that movie.
And so anyway, I think the story sounds interesting. The execution doesn't sound like it really hit the mark. Which, who knows? Maybe Phil, you'll have to tell us. Maybe it's different. Maybe you'll be like, "This is fantastic. You guys should jump in and play." I'll wait for you to tell me that, though.
Yeah, you let us know.
Yeah,
we'll play vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'll stream it for you guys.
Oh, I'd be on board with that. Yeah.
I interrupted you. What other games were there that you're on that list that you were like, I'm excited about this game?
I'm definitely interested in Tomb Raider as well. It also breaks my heart though because I waited and waited and waited. It looks like I have no choice. I'm gonna have to buy this game digitally. It doesn't look like there's going to be a physical.
Really?
They never announced a physical edition.
Oh.
So I'm just going to have to order it digital version of the game. So, what are you going to do? Yeah. But I definitely want to play some Tomb Raider.
Nice.
And then finally, that Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Game Boy version, so I do like a good puzzle platformer. So this one should be interesting.
Yeah. For myself, yeah, Mario versus Donkey Kong. I thought that looked really fun. Ultros looks like a fun Metrovania. That looks really interesting. Let's see, what else did I have on this list? The Tomb Raider remastered. I'm interested in that. Did you see that Madison's coming to VR?
I did see that. It's all about a president.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Phil, did you? Oh, yeah, that was, man. We should do that again.
Yeah, we should. We should bring that back for
We
sure.
should. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was no. Yeah, just the whole idea of making up stuff as we go along.
Yeah.
It's the entire podcast, Mike. What do you mean we should go back to
That's
that?
true.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
You know, Phil. You know what else is on the VR? Is I saw it on the MetaQuest store. It was, what was that game that you really, really liked, where you're the radio host?
Oh, Killer Frequency?
Yes, that's on VR.
Oh,
that's
really?
on MetaQuest.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, I would say Open Roads looks really cool. I did get to play a demo at PAX of Quamp 2, and do you know the premise behind that game? Do you know the premise behind that game?
I dropped a Quamp.
Is
It's
it
a great word.
is Quamp 2 more Quampier than the original Quamp?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I never played the original Quamp, but it is.
Is it a sequel to Quamp Tune?
No, it is. The Pong ball gets out of Pong and goes on its own adventure, and yeah. So it's actually Atari is publishing it, but it was created by Graphite Labs, which is out of St. Louis, and they did the game called High Jump, which I loved, and I actually got to talk to them about that game a couple years
we
ago.
interviewed the High Jump people, didn't we?
Yeah. So yeah, so those are the games that I'm looking forward to coming up in February. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of games, but it just feels like, you know, we just got hit with so many really fantastic games last year. I don't know.
Yeah. We got time.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo's going to announce a direct for next week?
I don't know.
That's usually the rumor.
Turn.
It's their turn now. Yeah. Well, it's historically they usually have a direct the second week of February.
Oh. Well, then maybe, yeah. Do you think the rumors are true that we'll see a new Switch or a successor to Switch? Maybe not new Switch, but a successor?
Not now. Well,
No.
I think we might. I mean, I think we either will or we won't.
Good call, Mike.
I love that it took like a couple seconds to register. Yes, no, I think if we do, we won't. Yeah, we won't get an announcement until probably June.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Double Speak podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, listeners, tell me if this sounds familiar to you. To get me going, I start with a large mug of coffee every day. But by mid-afternoon, I start feeling sluggish. So guess what I do? I go to the coffee shop and buy another mug of coffee to get me through the afternoon. The problem is the caffeine would keep me up at night, and I'd be super tired the following day, so the same thing would happen again. It becomes a vicious cycle, and I wasn't getting much sleep. I was losing productivity and creativity, and I knew this wasn't healthy. Then I discovered Magic Mind, a healthy energy drink that helped me break this vicious cycle. I found this little energy shot greatly improved my mornings. I take it once in the morning and I feel energized throughout the whole entire day. And the best part is, I don't have that crash in the afternoon. In fact, I feel energized throughout the day. My days are long and require a lot of focus and creativity, from all-day meetings and creating learnings at my day job as an instructional designer, to writing reviews and producing Gamerheads Podcast. And at the end of the day, I felt burnt out and lacked creativity and focus. But once I started taking Magic Mind, I felt a change. I felt my creative juices flowing again, allowing me to think differently about the learnings that I'm building and develop fun and clever solutions. I can focus in meetings, especially in the afternoon meetings where I struggled the most. And when I get home, I feel energized and excited to put my creative talents into writing and producing Gamerheads. I don't feel the burnout like I did before, and I'm getting plenty of rest at night because I'm not taking a lot of caffeine in the afternoon. I feel better in the mornings, and I'm happier throughout the day, and this is the biggest reason why I love Magic Mind. Now, I've tried other energy drinks before, and most of them left me with a sour taste in my mouth or gave me an upset stomach. Plus, I didn't know some of the ingredients that went into these energy drinks. But with Magic Mind, not only does it taste great, but I don't have the upset stomachs from drinking it. And it's made with all natural ingredients and sourced from the best suppliers with no added sugar. And it's nut-free and vegan too. You can get your subscription to Magic Mind at magicmind.com/gamerheads. And something special for our audience. Using the promo code GamerHeads20, you'll get 56% off your subscription. I stand behind Magic Mind because it works. It helps me break that vicious cycle, and I know it'll help you break that vicious cycle too. So it's magicmind.com with the discount code of GamerHeads20 to get 56% off your subscription. All right, well then, let's move into games that we're currently playing. And Mike, I'll start with you, since you reviewed a game.
I reviewed a couple games.
You reviewed a couple games. I was going to say, didn't you have a couple games you finished up here?
Yeah, because we didn't do the episode last week, so I couldn't talk about the first game I reviewed.
Yeah.
The first one I reviewed was Hidden Through Time 2.
Yeah.
And it's available on all the systems. And Hidden Through Time 2, and if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you've heard me talk about this game. The original, Hidden Through Time 1. It's basically, it's like a Where's Waldo type game. And you're looking at a very busy animated landscape, and you just need to pick out the things that it tells you to find. It could be out in the open, it could be hidden behind something and partially obstructed, but there's hints that the game gives you, and it's honestly, that's all it is. It's just a very relaxing puzzle game. And Hidden Through Time 2 is recently released, and it does a lot of the same stuff. It's just new locations, new characters. I guess you could say characters, but new drawings. But it's got like a campaign mode, which, I mean, it's just a story. I mean, there's nowhere, like, you're not following one person on a campaign, but it's still fun and it's voice acted. There's what else? It's they bring back the create a puzzle mode that you can also upload your puzzles online for other people to download. So you have a ton of puzzles, so it doesn't just run out after you get through the however many they have. What else? I played it on the Switch. The load times were pretty bad, were pretty rough. But on the flips, yeah, I know, right? But on the flip side, playing it on the Switch handheld mode was awesome, because it worked perfectly just with just touchscreen controls, zooming in and moving around and everything like that. So did I give it a B or a B plus?
B plus.
I think I give it a B plus.
Yeah.
Gave it a B plus, a well-deserved B plus. If you like puzzle games, something relaxing, something you can do like before going to sleep. It's just a fun game. Great game. Reasonably priced too. I think it's $12.99. So
yeah, I picked the game
highly
up.
recommend it.
And yeah, I like it. I mean, I think you said this about the first game, and this is how I feel about the second game. It's like a really fun game when you're winding down at the end of the night, and you're just like, I don't really want to get too involved with like a heavy story game or something that's going to require me to, use my reflexes to play, some games. So it's a fun game. I like it, and I like the campaign mode. I think that's cool.
It would be really cool if they could collaborate. Like, I would love to see Hidden Through Time collaborate with Yacht Club and do like a Shovel Knight level.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I just think
other indie
there's a lot of opportunities with it. Yeah, things like that. So.
Yeah, like a Dead Cells or something like that. That'd be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Or a Red Colony level.
Yes, that would be amazing. Can you find Mike and Roger in this game?
That's right. And then I've also played, and I put a review for, I don't know if it's Demeter or Demeter. I think it's Demeter.
I think it's Demeter.
Demeter, and that is that's a MetaQuest game, and that's a puzzle platformer. But the really cool thing is it opens up and it uses your mixed reality. So you see your actual living room, and it opens up like an island on your living room. and you control the main character, and the goal is like to find the missing pieces of your crashed ship and discover the mysteries behind the islands that you landed on. So you go around, a lot of jumping and hanging from ledges and walking along walls and basic fighting with basic enemies. But it's so cool to see it in like a diorama. So I'm actually getting up and I'm walking around this thing to see like, okay, where do I need to go? Where do I need to jump? Like, and it's such a different experience. It's definitely a lot of fun. And I think I gave that a B, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I gave that a B. Great game. Gameplay is pretty basic, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with basic gameplay. And voice acting is really great. The music's really really great. I think it was $20. I think it's $20. So for that price, I could say it's worth it.
Yeah. I had a question about that. So, because like obviously you have a MetaQuest 3 and your mixed reality is gonna be better than mine, and but does it like take your room and like make it like, oh, here's a ledge like on the side of a couch or something? Or how does it do that? Or does it scan?
No, it just
does it scan your room at all?
No, it doesn't. Like, I don't think it turns like, well, I don't have any coffee tables in my basement, but I don't think it turns your coffee table into a level.
Okay.
It just makes sure that there's nothing, or if there is a table, it maybe puts the island on the table.
Oh, that's cool though. That's cool.
That. So yeah.
Yeah. I think the game, oh gosh, now I can't think of it. Dimino? The one that we wanted.
Dimio,
the one we want to play.
The one we haven't had a chance to play yet.
Yeah, but that one has mixed reality too, and you can put like you can have the whole board game on your table, and then it feels like you're playing D&D with others. And actually, I just saw, I didn't read the whole article, but that studio actually is creating a D&D VR game. Actually, they haven't announced which set they're going to do or what storyline or what kind of book they're going to do, but it sounds like they're doing like a actual true D&D session that you can play. So that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. No, that game looked really cool. And I saw it come through. I thought, Mike, this is something that you just got your MetaQuest 3, so you should review this game. So anything else? Anything else you're playing?
I played through and beat, because it was a pretty short game, but it was a lot of fun. Gato Roboto.
Oh, nice.
Gato Roboto rules.
Yes, I had a blast with that. That one was a lot of fun. It's challenging. It was it's a Metroidvania. It's like it's a Metroid. I don't even say Metroidvania because it's a Metroid, because it's obviously inspired by Metroid. But yeah, it's actually, but it also takes a lot of cool elements where you're this little cat and you jump out of your mech suit to access like certain areas that you normally couldn't while wearing the suit. So this game goes on sale for like $3. And which is fine. If you buy it for $3, then you're actually stealing money from the developers because the game is that good.
Yeah.
But if you can get it for $3, I'd pay full price for it. It's a really good game.
Nice.
And it's a really cool. I really love the black and white.
Yeah.
And there's also hidden cassette tapes that change the color scheme.
Oh,
so there's
fun.
like a Game Boy. There's a Game Boy Color scheme.
Yeah.
There's one that looks like a old CGA monitor with that really bright blue and purple.
Nice.
So,
did we play that for an Indie Focus, or did I just randomly play it, or was it assigned to me as a game?
I think it was assigned to you as a game. Yeah, it was assigned to you as a game. Actually, it was assigned to you as an eShop game. Yeah, on this podcast. On this one, not on the Indie Focus. On this one, on this podcast, on this show.
Also, why did? Never mind.
Yeah, I had to play that, and I had to play Gunbrella more because that game is also really fantastic. Same studio, so I really want to play both of those. I don't own Gato Roboto, but I really should. But I do have Gunbrella, so cool. Anything else?
You have Gato Roboto.
Oh, I do because it's on.
I have Gato
nice.
Roboto.
I love that. I love how I have games that you have. Not all the games. Like when you buy those horror games, I'm not going to play them, but
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
Yeah. Anything
Unless
else?
we, of course, assign one.
Well, what?
To Phil.
Oh, yeah, to Phil. Yeah, sure. Yeah, hopefully
Like
he never
Nun
picks that.
Massacre?
Yeah, that was a fun game. Anything else, Mike?
That was it.
Phil, what have you been playing? I saw you post about MLB The Show 24.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Okay, fine. Whatever. It's free.
Was it one of your New Year's resolutions to play
that just
less?
means I'm not going to put 300 hours into it. If I put 200 hours into it, I nailed my resolution. It doesn't mean I'm not going to play it for the love of God.
Okay. Fair. That's a fair statement. What have you been playing?
Well, nothing anymore after that. Jesus.
Wow.
Come assault me out of the gates. I can't even play a game yet, and you're already accusing me of playing it. Don't have that kind of power. I've been playing a bunch of stuff, in all honesty. I've been really all over the board, which has been kind of fun. I picked up, in my quest to play more indie games, I picked up a game that I think Mike might have played. Because it was on sale for $2. It's normally $20, called Rad Rogers. Did you not play that, Mike?
I picked it up. I have it on the Xbox, but no, I have not played it.
I don't know if I should tell you if you should or not. It starts out really good, and it gets kind of monotonous, but then you have to okay, so the concept is it's 1990, you're playing as Robert Rodriguez or somebody like that who goes by the name of Rad Rogers, and you fall asleep while playing video games, you get sucked into your Super Nintendo, and now you're playing a 16-bit style game as Rad
Is this
Rogers
Captain
trying
N?
to take it out.
Is this
Yeah,
Captain
very
N?
similar to it. It's
The Game
more
Master?
Captain R.
Captain R.
The lesser known captains.
Yeah.
That's the GoBots of Captain N.
This bastard stepchild or stepson. But it looks really good until the frame rate starts to chug. It's an action platform, kind of. I'm not going to say it's an action platform type of game. Various guns, various enemies, well, a small handful of enemies. But then after every level, you play a different style level. For example, one of them's pinball. One of them is see how far you can jump up to the top before getting out. My biggest problem with the game, other than the fact that the difficulty does ramp up quite heavily in it, is... I forgot. Oh, when you go into these little time rift things, and you got to play kind of a top-down view with your backpack companion thing, and you have to fix these glitches in the Matrix in order to continue it. That part of the game just does not play very well at all, and honestly killed my overall experience with the game by level 4. I was just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore because this aspect of the game just really sucks.
Yeah.
But for $2, it's not bad, I guess, but it's nothing I'm ever going to finish, and I should probably just delete it off my hard drive now. I also got in some Payday 3 the other night, which I had an absolutely tremendous time playing with Carrington because we don't really know how to rob banks and stores, and we suck at it. So it kind of so the concept of Payday 3 is to stealthily rob banks and stores with you and up to 3 of your other friends. It gets to be a little elaborate in some of the later levels where you have to pickpocket a cell phone to get a QR code to get into a room, to get a safe combination, what have you, whatnot. Or you can just get caught right out of the gates and the cops come charging in, at which point it basically becomes Left 4 Dead with police. And that's how Carrington and I played. We spent a lot of times doing some big old shootouts with the cops. And I think we burnt through the first 7 levels of it over the course of 2 nights and just had a great time doing it because it does get very intense. We were trying to do it the right way, but one of us would always just be a knucklehead and stand underneath the cameras. We're picking one or something like that. And then the cops showed up and then all bets are off. Super fun, and if you've got a crew to play with, it makes it even that much more entertaining because you can all communicate with each other as you're running these heists. A lot of various locations in it. Gunplay is really crisp and tight. One of the levels, even, you're stealing an armored car by hooking up a remote to the car, getting underneath the armored car, putting a remote steering thing into it, and then you just got to walk it across a bridge while you're being assaulted by the cops, which I thought was pretty fun and pretty unique. Like I said, having a good time with that. Definitely, I'll be going back to that one for more. Next game that I've gotten written down. Fun. You like Vampire Survivors, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How do you guys feel about potatoes?
Oh, Brotato!
Ooh, I know this one, yeah.
Because if you like Vampire Survivors and potatoes, boy, do I have the game for you. It is currently $0.00 on Game Pass, and it is called Brotato.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful little Vampire Survivors clone without quite the charm, but yet having more charm at the same time as Vampire Survivors, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. Concept is very simple. Survive waves of things attempting to kill you, acquire weapons and items at the end of each level, as well as power-ups for your potato. There are many different potatoes to unlock, each with different attributes as well. All of the different guns and melee weapons do the same thing. You can have melee weapons and guns at the same time, up to 6 weapons at once, and I'm not sure how many items you can hold at this point because I have not maxed it out yet. They're timed rounds, and then after your round is done, you go, you do your thing, fixes it all. Super fun, very, very Vampire Survivors. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the fact he's going to take a shot here on
NyQuil.
Taking a shot of NyQuil.
Yep, I noticed that too. I was just going to let that slide.
I love how he's like pouring out a shot of NyQuil on the show.
Dude, I'm impressed that you used the cup. I just chugged straight from the bottle.
That's I'll just jam a straw in there.
I
like,
do.
Not a regular straw, like one of those milkshake straws.
Yeah.
We can watch the,
it'd be like that scene in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Comes around, yeah.
I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at the NyQuil, although I probably will be laughing in about 20 minutes. I was laughing at how enthusiastically Phil said, "You get to unlock new potatoes."
I do want to play that game. Is it multiplayer, Phil? Can you play that online with other people or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's too bad.
I usually play it pretty late at night when I'm unwinding, and my focus level is next to nothing, so menus don't really mean anything. Yeah. But I don't recall seeing a multiplayer option on it.
Okay. That's one game I want to play.
Another game that I've only spent about a half hour with is... I can't even believe I'm about to talk about this stupid-ass game.
Oh, it's got to be a Switch game.
Might as well be. I call it Pokemon Craft.
Are you playing PalWorld?
Oh, are you playing PalWorld?
Yeah, dude, I put like 30 minutes into it, and it's so dumb, and it's so stupid.
I played 10 minutes of it, and I couldn't play. I couldn't play any more of it.
Just janky as hell. It's so bad, but I've been conned into playing it with these two morons that I play video games with each and every night. Shout out to Andy and Carrington. And they insisted it's the greatest game in the history of mankind, and I sat there and just bitched about it the entire time, and I like openly made fun of it to the point of like, my friend Andy's got like an 11-year-old daughter, and she came in the room as we were playing, and I said, "Is Evie asking you why you're playing a game that's designed for people younger than she is?" Like, it's so bad. It's dumb. I hope I never get conned into playing it again with those two idiots. But yeah, PalWorld. Played some of that.
I played 10 minutes. Well, not even 10 minutes. I logged in. The first thing was like, craft a table. And I'm like, this looks so not fun and not for me. And I quit.
I'm not playing in my world, which is the caveat to the entire thing. I'm playing in Andy's world, so everything has already been... He's been crafting everything. I just jump in, do dumb shit, and bail. Yeah, I don't have to do any of the grindy stuff.
Apparently, you can play up to 20 people in these worlds, which sounds amazing. But so, you guys have heard the controversy around this game, right? Like
they just took each and every Pokemon and kind of reskinned them and
did a palette swap.
Yeah, did a palette swap. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's some, some concerns, some rumors that AI art is being used here, right? That does not come out to say that it has, but it certainly is very like and also the other thing I'll say, it's on Game Pass, which is free. I mean, ish, right? You still pay for Game Pass, but it's free. But it's early access, and $30 for an early access game, just I don't know. I have a problem with that, but I don't know. It just wasn't for me. But yeah, I mean, nothing was crafted because I created my own world, and it just. I was like 10 minutes. I'm like, this is not for me. This is not. I don't like this.
Oh, it's not for me either. It's really it's really stupid.
It just felt so.
From dropping an F-bomb.
Okay,
that was good.
So you played 20 minutes more than I did. Did you feel like, to me, I felt like this was like a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff that just felt all generic. That's what it felt like to me. It just felt like really
there's
generic.
No soul to it, and it runs at like 15 frames a second at a good pace. Like it's
Okay.
Carrington tried to say it's like Pokemon meets Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, well, no wonder I don't like this stupid game.
It's the GoBots of Pokemon.
The GoBots of
really
Pokemon.
Is. with a small sprinkle of Legend of Zelda in there. Like it's I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
But they're all into it, and like I enjoy playing games with friends when they invite, and like they wanted to play it, so I did. And it's time of giving back.
That's the Phil ratings board. Like it's like we're like A through F. Phil's just like to
yeah.
It's just a series of grunts.
Yeah.
Is Phil's ratings.
That's
very much so. It's like there's no doubt about that one, man. And finally, I'm just gonna wrap it up really quick by saying, and I'm gonna say this with a question mark, but I've gotten back into Gotham Knights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't know who I am anymore. I kind of think I'm going through an identity crisis. And I'm just throwing some shit to the wall and seeing what sticks. And so I've been playing Gotham Knights mainly because I know I'm going to spend money on Suicide Squad, and I kind of feel like a big pile of doo-doo if I don't play through the last superhero game before I spend another $60, $70, whatever on the next one. It still sucks, but it's enjoyable in a weird way. Like everything else that I play, it sucks, but I enjoy it. I shouldn't say everything. Most things I don't enjoy when I say that. But this game's also just broken as hell. I had a cutscene last night or the night before where I'm talking to somebody. I don't remember who in the game, but the camera panned to get behind them, but the camera couldn't get behind them because there was a stairwell in the way. And I'll send you guys a screenshot of it in the chat. But it's like the stairwell is covering 75% of the screen and 25% is Batgirl's head. Like,
it's awesome. You know what though? I fully embrace those things. To me, that's some of the best stuff in the world. When you're watching a cutscene and like all of a sudden you see somebody in the background running, and then all of a sudden he stops and does a T pose.
Yeah,
like there should be a game that embraces that, and just like the dumbest stuff happens while you're playing the game. Yeah, I would love that.
Just broken stuff in it. And then like I got to a part today where there's a training montage that happened where Barbara, Tim, Dick, and Jason are all hanging out in the Belfry together and lifting weights, and there's like rock music playing in the background, and I just kind of shook my head and I was like, what the shit is this? Like, who is in just cringeworthy.
Yeah.
But I kind of think that's what got me going back to it as well, besides just wanting to beat it before Suicide Squad comes out. Like I picked it up and I was like, all right, I'm gonna dick around with this a little bit. And I did, and I was just like, oh, there's so many stupid things in this game. I think I'm going to keep going because it's just that dumb. And so now I'm stuck, and I'm probably going to finish it.
Can you play that entire game as just one person? Like, if I wanted to make it a Batgirl game, I could make it just a Batgirl game?
As far as I am in the game right now, yes. Because I was originally playing as Tim Drake, but then I got tired of him because you still got to deal with him in the Belfry, but he's got like his Beats by Dre's wrapped around his neck the entire time there's cutscenes going on. He never once has him on his head, but like I just got really annoyed by Tim having his stupid headphones wrapped around his neck the entire time. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna play with Barbara, and then I've been Batgirl ever since. And I think that's all I've played, and I'm done rambling about that kind of stuff now.
It's on Game Pass. I can play it.
You can. You're not. It's not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good.
Yeah. For me, what have I been playing? I actually wrote down some things. So I continue with Octopath Traveler 2. I'm like 26 hours in. I didn't get to play very much this week, but last week I got to play quite a bit. And I completed 2 chapters now for 2 of my characters. And I'm about to complete 2 more chapters for 2 of my characters because they're both in the same city. Now, I will say this, what's cool is that when you go to certain cities, they're like, oh, these 2 storylines are kind of intertwined when you come to this town. And apparently, and I don't know the ending, but apparently the ending, everything seems to come together for all their characters, which didn't happen in Octopath Traveler 1. And again, I stand corrected. When that first came out, everybody complained about the fact that you had these characters traveling together and none of the stories were interconnected. And I was like, yeah, who cares? It's okay. But now I'm playing this and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is way better. And like the characters cheer each other on. If one of them gets hurt, they're like, oh, no. Like and I don't know. It's just Particio when Throne does something cool. He's like, that's Throne for you. I mean, it's so funny and it's charming. I love it. So Octopath Traveler 2. Phil, you might like this game. This is the part of that trilogy of that pulp pixel fiction trilogy, the Bassin Knights. I'm reviewing that game right now. Is that how you pronounce it? Bassin? I think that's how you pronounce it. Or, yeah, Bassin Knights.
Sure.
So the premise of this game is there is a religious cult, and you're an undercover cult. Yeah,
That's my favorite kind of cult.
It's his favorite kind of cult. And you are an undercover cop, and another undercover cop was killed, and you're trying to like pin the cult leader on this, right? So you have to come up with evidence and stuff like that. One thing I didn't expect so much in this game was, I mean, it's a visual novel, but I didn't know that there was gonna be like mini like action pieces, right? Like there's a part where you have to drive your cars and you have to kind of dodge other cars coming from you. And then there was one part where I was so lulled into the story, right? And that all of a sudden a character jumped. I probably shouldn't say that. Something happened, and you had to have reflexes to be able to. You had to pay attention, and I didn't. And the story ended for me because I didn't pay attention. But yeah, I like it a lot. It's really fascinating. I mean, it's an interesting story. They throw you right into the mix. Yeah, it's good. It's a good game. What other games? I've been playing.
Question.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Phil. Yes, please.
You in the back.
Yes, you in the back.
From what you can tell, is there any connection to Mothman 66 or Varney Lake?
I can't tell. I can't tell if there is. But what's cool is in the bar that you go to, you can play music, and it has. This was published by Chorus Worldwide, and there's music from their other games in there, which I thought was cool. Like that was neat.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't, but Phil, I mean, I didn't play the other two games, so maybe
they would have made some reference. Maybe the sheriff was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you since that Mothman case back in Point Pleasant."
Yeah, there's not, but it makes me wonder though, like if there is like hidden things in there that I just don't see. You know what I mean? Like maybe some like I don't know Easter eggs that I just don't see. So. But it's good. It's interesting. Yeah, I kind of want to go back down. Did you play Varney Lake, Phil?
No, it's on my wish list. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, and it was a couple of weeks ago when I passed on it, and I'm kind of pissed at myself for passing on it. Not that I'm typically a cheap ass, but from time to time I am.
Didn't you played Mothman though, right? You liked that one a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I dug Mothman.
I'm also playing a game, just a demo right now because that's all, but it's coming out in April. Footgun Underground. This is a game. It's on Steam, and you are a character that just so you go through different levels. It's a roguelike. It's a little punishing, I will say that, Mike. Yeah, go to sleep, Mike. But Mike it's cool. So you kick these soccer balls basically around, but you can get different power-ups for the soccer balls, and then like these bugs come out of the walls, and you kick the soccer balls at them and make them explode. Like you can get a bomb soccer ball, you can kick and explode. You can do power-ups to the cyber ball that you have. Like you can make it get bigger and bigger and bigger every time it hits against the wall. It's really like such a cool game. It's like almost like playing, I don't know, like Arkanoid kind of, or like Pong, but with a character like a soccer player, and you have to kick these balls. And once you can get two balls, and they're like, God, that sounds so bad, but they're like bouncing all over the place. It's so good. It's such a fun game. It's a demo right now on Steam. It's coming out in April. You can see more about that on GamerheadsPodcast.com. I think that's it. I think that's what I've been playing recently. I mean, there's another game I can't talk about right now because I'm reviewing it, but those are the games I've been playing, and yeah. But there is one more game, and we can talk about this next. The game that we a couple weeks ago assigned to Phil because Phil picked this game, and that is Cassette Beast. So we all put some time into Cassette Beast, Phil more than Mike and I have. Can I just tell you my first initial thoughts, and then you guys can talk? Because Phil, you have more time.
Yeah, dude, I spent a lot of time talking.
So
I used up my words per episode already.
I will say this: before we decided to play it as a group, I played it when it first came out, and it didn't pull me in, and I wasn't really all that enthralled. I was like, I don't know if this is really for me. And then we decided to play it as a group, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give it another shot. And I'm glad I did, because I'm really enjoying it. The music's really good. The premise is pretty cool that, you have different cassettes. Instead of catching like Pokemon, you record the monsters, and then you can use those monsters. You turn into those monsters. Again, I'm not very far. I beat the first boss thing, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like it has very like the vibes it's giving me that you're in like some kind of purgatory or afterlife of some sort. And there's
so you beat the first like black and white boss. I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm enjoying it. I actually think this is, and where Pokemon, I've always felt like I'm a little on the easy side. Like this is not easy. This is not an easy game. Like I lost battles in some of the battles that I fought. So, I'm really liking it. I think it's a cool game. The story is interesting. The music is really good. I love the music in this game a lot, and I'm glad we picked it. I don't know, Mike. Do you want to give your thoughts?
Contribute?
We need to have more games that have music with lyrics in it.
Yeah, agreed.
I love, and I'm gonna Roger, you said a lot about the music, so I'm just gonna copy and paste what you said. I love the music, and I love the fact that and it's a very, very chill, and I like that kind of chill, almost folky type music. But the fact that it has lyrics, and I'm just like, I like this. I'm digging this music. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I like the art style. It's pixelated, but it's also pseudo 3D-ish.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very novel concept of combining Pokemon to create some kind of crazy new monster to use in your battles. So
yeah.
It's a Pokemon game, but it does enough different with the formula that makes it fresh. So I am enjoying it so far as well.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you say that, because we just talked about the other game, and this feels like such a fresh, take on that Pokemon, genre, right? The collect 'em kind of genre. The other thing I like too, I forgot to mention this. The other thing I was kind of cool was the quest names are songs, or song like "Take on Me," and I thought that was cool. I thought that was neat. That's a neat little twist. So. All right, Phil. How far are you? Are you much farther than that first boss?
I've taken out, I want to say, 3 or 4 of those bosses at this point.
Oh my gosh.
I've also taken down a couple of the rangers that you come across at a certain point to join, like the Ranger Club. I've taken out a couple of those too. Full disclosure, when I first turned this game on, it starts out with you washing up on a beach. And the first thought that went through my brain is, wow, washing up on a beach with no idea where you are. That's unique. Never seen this
so
before.
Original.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play this game. And then I got into it and I was like, oh, all right, this is kind of dope. And then I kept playing it. It was like, oh, this has got some humor behind it as well. This is fun. And then as I started catching more and more beasts and started evolving more and more beasts. Yeah, I forgot the word evolve for a second. It really kind of stuck on me. And then speaking of stuck, you get stickers as well that you can add to the tapes, because all of your beasts are on a cassette.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's huge.
That's right. Yep.
And so it adds new powers to the beast that you have if you put a
that's
cassette
so
tape
cool.
on it, which they evolve from anyways. A lot of the characters in the towns have got personality as well. I think my favorite part of the entire game so far has been the vampires. I don't know if you guys have met the vampires yet.
No, I haven't. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't yet.
Yeah, and when you find out what the vampires actually are, I laughed way too hard at it, because it's a very, very well-written joke. Because they look like they're just vampires, and then it turns out that they're not actually vampires. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
No, I want to play through it. I want to. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, there's a quest where you have to take out all of their dens as well, which is pretty amusing, because once you figure out what the vampires are, you'll understand how that all comes together. I really don't have a bad thing to say about this game, except sometimes the quest that it gives you, where you got to record a specific, I almost called them PAL because that's stupid. Cassette Beast. They're not always as evident as you would think that they are. You can't just walk into a certain region and find them. A lot of time they're connected to the one that you already see on screen. So it'll only be a secondary one, not the main one. So you don't even know if you're getting into it until you get into it. which makes it a little bit more difficult, but it also does force you to battle a little bit more. I have lost a handful of battles. I've gotten 2 or 3 new people that can join me on my crusade as well, instead of just the main female person.
Yeah,
I've been hanging out with her the entire time though to try to max out that the friendship bracket or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Because the fusion power gets much more stronger, and then taking down a lot of the bigger bosses is that much easier. The boss fights are pretty fun. I usually don't care much for a turn-based RPG, but I've decided they're not that bad to play for me after about 11:30 at night because my reflexes no longer matter.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
But as of 6 hours 45 minutes in, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with Cassette Beast a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's not a unique concept, but it's a unique spin on other concept that sets it apart well enough that I think it stands the test of time. And I think people that are fans of RPGs and fans of the Pokemon games should really take the time and check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a small studio that made this too. It's not like a really big studio. I'm glad we picked this. I'm glad we're playing through it. So we'll continue. I'm gonna play more this week. Maybe Tuesday I'll stream it on our Tuesday stream. I'll stream it, and then
can you multiplayer that or no?
That's a good
Make any
question.
sense if you could, but it would make sense.
Cassette Beast? I don't think there's multiplayer.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, I'll stream it on Tuesdays. So. All right, I think that's the end of the show. One thing I did want to say, one other thing that I have been doing that I'm very proud of. So on the VR, I've been doing Supernatural, which is a workout. And I just completed day 4, day 5 this week.
Nice.
So
good.
And here's the thing. I don't get up early in the morning normally. I set my alarm. I'm like, I have to work out, and then I never do. But this I have been, so I'm very proud of myself. So it's not really a game, but
GG.
Thanks.
It's definitely a game. It's a fitness game.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because it's kind of like Beat Saber. There's parts of Beat Saber, but there's also a cardiac boxing as well. And so I need to, continue that and get back into some form of healthiness. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good work.
Thank you. Before we leave, why don't we tell people how they can find us on social media? And Mike, how can people find you on social media?
They don't really have to look for me on social media, but if you really wanted to, just we do this every time, and it's embarrassing because I don't do social. But Twitter, Pez at Pez Guy Mike. If you want, send me a thing and a message, and I'll be like, all right, cool. Have a nice day.
I'm now starting to see what it's like recording with me sometimes.
It always feels weird when we talk about it. You can't get a hold of me. Don't even bother.
Don't even bother. Phil, how can people find you on social media?
Hit up Mike and he'll point you in my direction.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's about the most level of interaction you get. Don't bother me. Talk to that guy over there.
You can find me on Twitter at BeatOut23.
Oh, and listeners, you can follow us on Twitter at Gamerheads Pod. You can also follow us on Blue Sky at Gamerheads Podcast. We also have Instagram as well, Gamerheads Podcast, and Facebook, Gamerheads Podcast. And you can go to our website at gamerheadspodcast.com as well, where you can hear this show and read our reviews and such too. What is that?
Patreon.
Oh, and our Patreon. That's right. Yes. Go to our Patreon as well. I didn't know that was the symbols for Patreon. I'm sorry. Patreon.com/Gamerheads, where you can join for as low as $3 a month and join the Gamerheads Nation. And we have a Discord for that too. So if you join our Patreon, you can join our Discord. So that's very fun. All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us this week.
I had a blast. The NyQuil's
I was going to say, is the NyQuil talking?
NyQuil's kicking in, man.
That's why I'm laughing. So the
You can
segment
totally
started
tell.
to hit you too. It's
Yeah, I
great.
know. I saw the moment it starts hitting you. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Face just starts going slack.
Phil, thank you so
It's
much.
like that scene in Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh,
where
yes. Where
his
he's
face is
singing, is
just
just dripping.
drooping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Phil, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Glad to be here.
And listeners, thank you so much for giving us a listen. If you like what you hear, give us a review. We want to hear what you have to say about the show. Until next week, everyone, stay safe and game on. Bye.
So long.
Take care.